Hello, Star Wars Galaxy of Hero players. This is Anita Shorto. Today I'm going to be covering my thoughts, predictions, etc. with possible legendary events, since it's basically the hype train. All the game changers are doing it, all the other YouTubers are talking about it, so I might as well throw my 2 cents in as well, and we'll go from there. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So, legendary events. First off, I have a feeling we'll still get some marquee events this year. We'll get probably another 10, maybe 15 throughout the next few months. If that, maybe less than that. Maybe, let's see, this is August, so September, October, November, December. So we get maybe 2 each month, about 8 to 10 maybe. That's still not bad. But then there's the legendary events and all the reworks, which is probably what they're planning on doing. Because so far this year, it's been nothing but Sith, Scoundrels. Well, actually, the first month was a finish up of Episode 8. Then it was Sith, Scoundrels, and Bounty Hunters. We did get Yoda reworked. That's about it, really. And we got a few, well, not just Sith, more of Sith/KOTOR era is really going where it's at. So, obviously, we want to talk about the possible... okay, so first up, everyone's thinking Revan's going to be a thing in this game. And I feel like, yes, he's going to be a thing, but I feel like they got to build up to it. They're starting the build-up train. Yeah, they've had HK, then they finally brought in, from the KOTOR 1 and 2 series, they had HK. Then they brought in the Nihilus, Sith Trooper, Sith Marauder, and Sith Assassin don't count. Just because their skins are essentially from... Well, they do and don't. Their skins essentially come from Star Wars The Old Republic, the MMO game, where even though if you really look at the kit for Sith Soldier and Sith Trooper seem like they're really similar anyways, so what can you do? But going off that, though, then we got Nihilus, and then eventually we got Scion, Visas Mar, and Traya, so that's KOTOR 2. Yeah, we're not done with KOTOR 2 characters, and then we got a bunch of KOTOR 1 characters. Bastila, T3, Mission, Zalbar, and Jolie Bendo. We got 5 characters, and I feel like those 5, plus HK, and then eventually when they release Karth and Canderous, is a possible set of characters to unlock the Darth Malak legendary event. That's what I'm seeing, what could build up to it. And then when you unlock Revan, you could use Revan to unlock Malak, which makes no sense, but whatever. But Darth Revan, I feel like, needs a build-up. I know there's been a couple of YouTubers that talked about this, that you could need Mitra Surik to get... Mitra Surik is a Jedi Exile, the character you play as in Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic to the Sith Lords. The female player character. But you would need her, plus Malak, plus maybe even Traya/Kreia. Who knows? I feel like they got to build up to Revan. And right now, I don't see a Revan. Now, I could see the 5 characters plus HK, Canderous, Karth, and Juhani. I missed Juhani. They could actually be a build-up to a redeemed Revan. Revan, and then in parentheses after it would say redeemed. Revan redeemed. R&R. An R&R team, go! But yeah, a Revan redeemed, that would make more sense. Between Revan redeemed and Darth Malak, those characters would be needed to unlock both of them. Whereas Darth Revan, I feel like, makes more sense to hold off and build enough characters up to get them. And those characters could be Bastila, Malak, Mitra Surik, or Jedi Exile, Kreia. I feel like more Kreia than Traya. Just because she didn't really fall to the dark side until after Revan became Revan. Revan became Darth Revan. Let's see. There's quite a few different other characters, but yeah, those are, the main few. You could theoretically add HK, T3, and 4, maybe HK more or less, to unlock a Revan. So, but we'll see how they plan it. We will see how they plan it. We never know. We'd be wrong. They just do those characters to unlock Revan and Malak. have 2 legendary events, Revan and Malak. But my game right now is we're going to get Malak first, which would be good. Which would be good. Now, I do want to say, though, if they add Malak, Malak has a really similar ability. Well, technically, if you really think of it, Kylo Ren from The Force Awakens has a similar ability to what Darth Malak has. Obviously, they kind of took the idea from Legends there. Malak has the ability to stun characters, but he can do more than just one. Except at the same time, at the time it was only one person fighting him, so you might as well just do the one. But I assume Kylo Ren could be strong enough to do more than one, but Malak has an ability to stun, so he could probably do 2 stuns. You stun one and then randomly stun another. Stun 2 for 2 turns and 1 turn, or maybe 3 turns and then 1 turn. Who knows? But yeah, that's what I want to quickly. I know this was a longer first part, but I have a lot more to the list. But Darth Revan, I don't see coming to the game just yet. I feel like they just need to build up for it. And Malak, I can see coming to the game. The next one isn't obvious because we're talking about bounty hunters. We got to talk about Jango Fett. At the time of this recording, Jango Fett has not been revealed. If he becomes revealed, the time of recording is August 27th. I'm going to be uploading this on August 28th just for time constraints, but I do want to get this video out, so if for any reason his kit comes out, but Jango Fett, it makes sense to have him. He's a bounty hunter. Yes, they could still theoretically, by the end of this week, we could still get like maybe young Boba, but if Jango comes out, or young Boba, or someone else, plus we need Zam Wesell's rework as well. But if we get any of those, we will be able to have 2 bounty hunter teams. Theoretically, you could do the original trilogy team and then like the Clone Wars era team, and you got 2 bounty hunting teams working it out. Of course, me personally, Jango, I feel like he could be a tank, a really powerful tank, and his leadership could bring bounty hunters into the meta. So we'll see how they go when Jango comes into the game. Hondo Ohnaka, I've talked about him in another video on, what if they brought the Ohnaka gang to the game. And of course, if they ever bring the full Ohnaka gang in, I feel like the rest of his characters are marquee events, personally. And Hondo Ohnaka would be a legendary event, and it would be just scoundrels only, non-bounty hunter scoundrels that would be needed to unlock Hondo. I just feel like that would be kind of a cool, unique way of bringing Hondo into the game. And again, as I talked about in the video before, Hondo Ohnaka coming to the game would be brilliant if they also added the 2 Kowakian monkey lizards he has. Sorry if I don't remember the names, I just only remember Hondo. But Hondo Ohnaka bringing his 2 monkey lizards to do some crazy shenanigans in combat would be kind of awesome. Next, Darth Nihilus is in game. Why are we not going to get a Darth Nihilus' Sith ship? I am going to be talking about this guy in another video, so stay tuned for that as well. But a possible legendary event to come out by the end of the year is another capital ship. There's quite a few capital ships. I'm going to just talk about a few in another possible KOTOR era ones. But Darth Nihilus' capital ship could literally come into the game, and, it would be a Sith capital ship. Right now, yes, we only have 3 Sith ships: Darth Maul, Darth Vader, and Sith Assassins, the Sith Starfighter. But we could get more. They could theoretically down the road add us with a couple of more Sith ships from like Star Wars: The Old Republic to get some Starfighters in there for like Sith Trooper and Sith Marauder. Sure, just to fill those 2 in, so we have a couple more Sith Starfighters until they add any more in the future. So there you go. There's one possibility that we could have is Darth Nihilus' ship, the Ravager. Some people are talking about Drayton Voss, the Crimson Blood criminal syndicate leader that's under Maul, of course. I'm not going to talk about Maul in this game or video. I may save him for another video, but at the same time, I have talked about him in the past 6 or so months, but I will talk about Maul again. But Drayton Voss, if anything, I feel like he would be a more capable candidate for a legendary event over Beckett, just because I feel like Beckett could just be... I know I hate to say this, but a marquee character. He just doesn't seem legendary enough, even though he has killed Aurra Sing. But he just doesn't seem legendary enough. I feel like Drayton Voss could be more legendary, and you would need the characters like Lando, L3, Kira, Han, Chewie, even Beckett. And maybe when they ever bring Beckett into the game, they could also bring his old crew members, like the girl he was dating, plus the four-armed creature, adding those in to actually fight Drayton Voss, because honestly, Nest wasn't really against that kind of thing, even though technically neither was L3 or Lando, but at least we got some characters working in. So there's a possibility, and it would just be those characters to get Drayton Voss. And these characters recently became free-to-play, so... next is, we're going to talk about more Clone Wars characters. Admiral Yularen, of course, his ship would also be a thing, too. I personally think this guy should replace Mace Windu, essentially. Just make him there, and Mace Windu get his own starfighter, just because Admiral Yularen, there's another couple admirals in the Clone Wars that could make sense to be fleet commanders. Mace Windu made more sense to be on the field all the time, or in a starfighter, and he has a starfighter, so yeah. But going back to it, though, Admiral Yularen would be great. We could get some Galactic Republic characters, maybe clones and or Jedi to unlock Admiral Yularen. I think it'd be cool. Also, there's also a thing where, they could do a unique event with Admiral Yularen becoming Colonel Yularen of the ISB. I have talked about this character in the last year. I know it's been a while since I've talked about it, but I talked about having him and the ISB leader, Colonel Yularen, the older guy that you actually see in Star Wars Rebels. Or actually, also he was also first appeared in the table room of Episode 4. But, coming in and being characters of the game. Another Imperial, we got another, Galactic Republic leader, giving, just leadership of Galactic Republic characters, period. No Jedi, no clones, just Galactic Republic. So you could theoretically run in your Clone Wars Chewbacca, your Cup, and they would work under Admiral Yularen. The next one's a Separatist. Admiral Trench being a possible leader, needing Separatists to unlock him. Not much to say. Maybe him and his ship. I know his ship is the same as General Grievous's, but I feel like Grievous makes... In my personal opinion, I feel like Admiral Trench makes sense to be one of the admiral or fleet commanders for the Separatists, and I feel like this game they should only have a max of 2. But Admiral Trench being one of them would make perfect sense. He was just a high commanding admiral in the Clone Wars. He did lose to Skywalker, and then he kept leading afterwards where he was injured. So you got that running there. But he was really accomplished. He was a really accomplished admiral. So it makes sense for him to be a good admiral. Probably not as good as Grand Admiral Thrawn. Thrawn's way better than him. His tactics are way better than Trench's, but Trench is really good, though. I'd say he's like second or third under... he's under Admiral Thrawn. Another one... Oh, I somehow skipped... I put the order in wrong, but we'll go with it. General Kalani, you got a spoiler for the next one. General Kalani being a one that you could use droids to unlock, just droids. He was actually a brilliant super tactical droid, and the super tactical droid ignored the orders of shutdown, one of the few that ignored the orders of shutdown because he thought it was a Jedi trick. And even though it wasn't, he thought it was a Jedi trick. And that's why he was able to survive into the time frame of Star Wars Rebels TV show, when Rex, Kanan, Ezra, and Chopper go and meet him. So, droids unlocking General Kalani, I think would be great. Going back to it, Quinlan Voss, he could be a legendary character. I know more legendary characters would be like Anakin, Obi-Wan, Yoda, Mace Windu, but a lot of them already in game from the beginning. But giving Quinlan Voss a Jedi role and be another Jedi that certain Jedi, or maybe certain characters in his life could between canon and Legends, could unlock them, like, say, Kenobi, Anakin, Dooku, Ventress, maybe Ahsoka or Master Yoda even. Just those few characters being able to unlock Quinlan Voss. I think it'd be a cool character. I'm this is kind of on the low end of seeing, but I think it'd be cool to see Quinlan Voss making it into Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And of course, the last one is Darth Malgus. I feel like even though they've dipped into the era of Star Wars, the older Knights of the Old Republic, KOTOR era, there's still some linkage to SWGOH, just because Sith Trooper's skin, Sith Marauder and Sith Assassin skin were from KOTOR 2. Or not KOTOR 2, but SWGOH. I know there was the classes of Trooper, even though it was Soldier in the events when you unlocked KOTOR 1 characters, but the Sith Trooper, there were Sith Troopers, there were Sith Marauders and Sith Assassins in KOTOR 1 and 2, but they had different skins versus the ones in SWGOH, and they pulled the ones from SWGOH. Makes sense. I kind of makes sense, because the Sith Assassins in KOTOR doesn't look as cool as the Sith Assassins from SWGOH. But then that's because of time from when KOTOR was made to SWGOH, the graphics, etc., etc. So, but Darth Malgus being a very viable possibility for a future Sith Lord be great. Yes, eventually getting down to the road where we get Darth Bane, Darth Zana, Darth Plagueis. Down the road, we could eventually get those. But I feel like the next one, since we're dipping into KOTOR era, would be one outside of Darth Revan and Malak, would be Darth Malgus. Just there's that linkage there. And again, Sith would be the ones to unlock him. Of course, a lot of people will be able to unlock him on day one just because they've worked on Maul, Vader, Palpatine, Nihilus. And then even if it's not those, it would probably just be Scion, Traya, Nihilus, Assassin, Trooper, and Marauder, and leaving out Palp, Vader, Dooku, and Sidious and Maul, leaving those ones out, but keeping the KOTOR SWGOH era Sith to unlock them. Hey, that's fine. So, but that's just my thoughts on legendary characters coming to Galaxy of Heroes in the future. Who knows? We'll see what comes out. I know for a fact, I feel like we will get for sure Malak and Revan eventually. Well, we'll definitely get Revan eventually. Don't get me wrong. I'm more excited to see how Revan will be. Any of these legendary characters will be meta defining, because any legendary character, well, at least until it was reworked, because Yoda took forever to be reworked. But once he was reworked, once they had the time, of course, once he was reworked, boom, he became meta defining. When Palpatine was reworked, boom, meta-defining. Thrawn came out, R2 came out. Of course, they started the first two, Palpatine and Yoda. When they came out, it took they were meta-defining back then, probably. I'm not sure on all that, but they didn't have all the Zetas, they didn't have them completed, and then the characters following, Thrawn, BB-8, R2... Once those characters came out, they were automatically meta-defining. But once we finally got Palpatine and Yoda reworked, they became meta-defining. And now I think all the legendary characters are great. The only unique character that still needs a rework, and I'm still going to side with the game changers that like to say this, General Grievous, because he's farmed out of the Shard Store. Now, of course, I think it'd be cool to see some more characters thrown into Shard Store as a permanent add-in. Why not do that? Of course, I still like the idea of, I bet some players like the idea of, for at least a week or so, or a couple of weeks where they threw them in just to speed up some of the farming process. But, yeah, that's me. Other than that, thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Who do you think's coming as a legendary character? Who do you think isn't? Is my list, right, wrong? I know Quinlan Voss is on there. Kind of a stretch, but hey, you never know with the developers of SWGOH. We got Wampa. We got Colonel Stark. We'll see. Who knows? They may make from the KOTOR era, especially KOTOR 1, they may make a little baby Rancor. Who knows? But thanks for watching. You guys have a wonderful day.